Patricia Vallone with a CTV News update. President-elect Joe Biden will be sworn in as the 46th Commander-in-Chief of the United States tomorrow at the U.S. Capitol. CTV's Keisha Butts has the details.
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will both be sworn in at the Capitol tomorrow as president and vice president, respectively. However, this ceremony will look different this year. Due to the deadly Capitol riots, about 20,000 National Guard troops are expected to be in D.C. President Trump will not attend the ceremony, and the National Mall is temporarily closed to the public. There will still be a small gathering of former presidents and even several pop stars. Among the performers is Howard University's marching band, which will escort Harris to the White House.
It's very exciting. Like when I first came, it was just, standard practice, show up, march, stretch, do everything as normal. But then when I started to think about what we were actually doing and we got to do the walkthrough, it started to become more surreal, seeing like the other people in the, that's going to be in like the little procession. And I don't know, it's very surreal. I don't think I'll fully comprehend until we're actually in the moment.
During day one, Biden is also expected to sign a series of bills on issues such as immigration, COVID-19, and climate change. President Martin Mitchell of the Prince George's County Young Democrats says during the first 50 days, he wants Biden to enact a series of laws on issues such as D.C. statehood, small business loans, and canceling student loans completely.
As we know, the more education you have, the increase in, social capital. So essentially, it's going to pay itself off. And that's the thought. You're going to have, a society who is, better trained and, have better networks now.
While Trump won't be in attendance at tomorrow's inauguration, he will be holding a send-off ceremony at Joint Base Andrews in the morning. This is Keisha Butts with CTV News.
Mike Miller, the longest-serving Senate president in Maryland's history, will lie in the rotunda of the Maryland State House Thursday evening and much of Friday. Miller died last Friday from complications of prostate cancer. The Senate will honor Miller during its session this Friday. Due to the pandemic, only invited guests who made appointments will be permitted to pay respects. One of those who plans to be there is State Senator Rosa Pepp, who says that Miller always looked out for Prince George's County.
The entire time that I worked with him, which goes back several decades, he always had Prince George's County's interests in the front of his mind. And his death is a tremendous loss, obviously, to his family, to those of us who knew him and worked with him, to his friends, and to the state. But it's frankly a particular loss to Prince George's because for all that time, all of us who represented Prince George's knew that the president of the Senate had Prince George's in his heart and in his head every day.
The Friday services will be streamed online from 8 a.m. until 7 p.m. A private mass and service will be held Saturday at the Miller's Family Church at St. John the Evangelist in Clinton. Prince George's is now in COVID vaccine phase 1B. That means that seniors 75 and older can now register for vaccinations. If you are a teacher, a school support staff member, a child care worker, or live in an assisted living facility, you can register as well. A hotline to help you sign up will be available later this month, but for now, you have to register by visiting mypgc.us/COVID vaccine.
We're asking our seniors and everyone else in phase 1B to please sign up and get the COVID-19 vaccine and be proud to be protected. If you know a senior who does not have internet access, we ask that you would reach out and try to assist them. And this will be a good number of our seniors who are not comfortable necessarily using the internet. We are currently training individuals to work on our new vaccination hotline. This hotline will help offer additional assistance to anyone who's making an appointment over the phone. We anticipate that the hotline will launch later this month.
Also, Brooks says that local COVID cases have been increasing at an alarming rate. She's urging residents to follow health and safety guidelines. Those include wearing facial coverings, social distancing, limiting travel, and avoiding gatherings outside of your immediate family members. Well, as Maryland moves into its Phase 1B vaccination plan, a state lawmaker receives the possible life-saving drug this morning. Delegate Julian Ivey of District 47A received the Moderna shot at the Cheverly Health Center today. Now under the state's plan, as we had mentioned, adults 75 and over, as well as government employees, certain government employees, they can get vaccinated as well. It includes Marylanders who live in assisted living, independent living, developmental disabilities, and behavioral group homes. Those people can also receive the shots. Ivy, who live streamed getting the vaccine on social media, says the process in signing up online was simple.
This is a vaccine that was created with science at the forefront. There's a diverse team of individuals who have worked to getting this vaccine implemented across the nation. And here we are with an opportunity to protect our communities that are very vulnerable when we're talking about coronavirus. And it's up to each and every one of us to step up and do our parts. That was social distancing for the last 10, 11 months, but now it's our part to play by getting vaccinated.
And Maryland plans to move into Phase 1C next Monday, January 25th. If you're eligible to get the vaccine, you can visit covidvax.maryland.gov. Well, Maryland's top leaders also received the COVID-19 vaccine. Governor Larry Hogan and Lieutenant Governor Boyd Rutherford were publicly vaccinated yesterday. The Republican leaders, along with their wives, First Lady Yumi Hogan and Second Lady Monica Rutherford, also received the shot at the State House in Annapolis. The National Guard administered the first dose of the Moderna shot.
There are 1.5 million people who are currently eligible in Phase 1, and they need 2 doses. So that means 3 million doses of the vaccine. Overall, we will require 12 million doses to reach 2 doses for all Marylanders. Right now, we have received 4.5% of that amount. So again, this is going to take a long time. It's going to take a great deal of patience, and it's going to take a whole lot more vaccines.
Acting Deputy Health Secretary Jalene Chan will also receive that vaccine on Monday. Chan, the Hogans, and the Rutherfords will have to get the second dose of the Moderna shot in 4 weeks. While the state's coronavirus numbers continue to surge, the Maryland Health Department reports an additional 1,900 confirmed COVID-19 cases. Currently, the state has more than 1,800 residents hospitalized from the virus. Here in Prince George's, 63,000 county residents have contracted it. Meantime, President-elect Joe Biden is holding a COVID memorial on the National Mall at 5:30 p.m. this evening to reflect and honor those who are no longer with us. You can participate in the National Moment of Unity by lighting a candle in your window this evening. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight, both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back, because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
The University of Maryland has agreed to a $3.5 million settlement with the family of Jordan McNair. He was the 19-year-old UMD football player who died in June 2018 after suffering heat stroke during a team workout. The settlement is subject to approval by the Maryland Board of Public Works at its next session that will be later this month. University and state officials have declined to comment until after the board acts on the proposed settlement. McNair's death prompted 2 independent investigations and sweeping changes in the athletic department and the sports medicine staff. Authorities have identified the man killed in a convenience store shooting in Fort Washington. He is 66-year-old John Woo Young Jang of Laurel, an employee of the Food Zone store on Livingston Road. Jang was found by police around 1 p.m. yesterday as they responded to reports of a robbery. Meantime, police have also identified a man found shot to death in a car in Capitol Heights over the weekend. 28-year-old Curtis Edwards of Suitland was murdered Saturday in the 5200 block of Marlboro Pike. Anyone with information on either case is asked to contact police. The American Civil Liberties Union releases a new report titled Chasing Justice. The organization says the report exposes what the ACLU calls racist facts and lack of accountability in Maryland. Much of the report centers around policing in Baltimore City. It reveals that 91% of people police targeted with force were African American. The purpose of the report is to examine racial disparities in policing, how police departments contribute to violence, and the consequences of failing to hold officers accountable.
So my hope is that this report will be a tool to better understand the scope of police violence and misconduct in Baltimore City and by extension, other police agencies in Maryland. I hope that it will help elevate the experiences of Black residents who have long known the threat that many of these officers represent. And by identifying these data points in areas where further research is needed, it will hopefully help others who are working to expose officer wrongdoing and win reforms that improve systems of police accountability.
Like other groups, the ACLU is calling for the repeal of the Police Officers' Bill of Rights as well as a statewide use of force policy. Prince George's fire officials continue to investigate a commercial blaze in Laurel. The incident happened Monday around 5:45 in the afternoon in the 14,200 block of Cherry Lane. Firefighters found a fire in a tractor trailer backed up to a loading dock, which was attached to a one-story commercial building.
Approximately 5:45 tonight, units from Prince George's County, Anne Arundel County, Montgomery County, and Howard County were dispatched to the 14,200 block of Cherry Lane for a building fire. When the first arriving units arrived on the scene, they found fire showing from side Charlie from a trailer. Units were able to get inside the warehouse and confine the fire to the trailer, and all people were evacuated from the building. The trailer hooked to the back of the building, and we were unable to move the trailer away from the building, so we had to call for units from Howard County with a crane to pull the trailer away. Once we were able to pull the trailer away, we found it was filled with multiple materials. When we were cutting the trailer, we found 50-gallon plastic drums and did not know what was inside. So we upgraded the box to a hazmat box, which brought the foam units and the hazmat units. We were able to flow foam and put the fire out. Currently, fire investigators are on scene trying to determine the cause of the fire. There has been no transports of any civilians or any firefighters.
No injuries were reported. Investigators continue to search for the cause of the fire. Both Maryland and Virginia plan to appeal a recent FEMA decision that denies them reimbursements for beefed-up security around the National Mall. The agency denied emergency declaration requests from both states that would have covered security costs related to the Capitol riot and President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration. The decision means that the states would not receive federal funds for providing law enforcement support to help restore order after pro-Trump rioters stormed the Capitol on January 6th, or for the enhanced security needed for tomorrow's inauguration. If you own a restaurant and are struggling during the pandemic, listen up. The county's Economic Development Corporation has extended its Restaurant Resiliency Fund until January 22nd. The organization is providing grants up to $25,000 to help eateries with business operations and COVID-19 safety measures. Applications are being awarded on a rolling basis. For more information, visit pgcedc.com. Prince George's County Young Democrats are lending a helping hand. The group collected about 200 new duffel bags and luggage from community members during yesterday's Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service event. The event took place at the Hemingway AME Church in District Heights. All donations are going to the Maryland Department of Social Services. Well, let's get a quick check now on your 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 31. Wednesday, breezy and sunny with flurries expected in the morning. Temps reach a high near 41 and a low around 25. Thursday and Friday, mostly sunny with daytime temps in the mid-40s and dropping to the low 30s at night. And now for your community calendar. Join County Executive Also Brooks and CASA during a special Latino town hall regarding COVID-19 vaccine updates. Officials will provide an update on the county government's distribution plan for the vaccine. The meeting is Monday, January 25th at 7 p.m. To attend, you can visit the website or the number listed on your screen. And that wraps up our newscast. Join us again here on Thursday after the inauguration. Tomorrow, we'll be here at the same time, same place. Have a great night.